Welcome to the final session of the SEO Accelerator. I'm going to put my screen on. Can I get like a yes if everyone can see my screen in the chat? Perfect. Nico, thank you. Sam, Katie, Zoe, Ardil, CM, Jane. Awesome. Thank you so much. Cool. So session 4 of the SEO Accelerator. I'm super happy that everyone's made it this far. I'm going to very quickly open it up just so I understand everyone's base knowledge. Is this your first SEO Accelerator or have you attended some more before? So I'm going to run up a poll very quickly. And I'll launch it. And this will give me very quick understanding of how I should be. Sweet. Okay, I'm surprised. So 75% have been attending the series and 25% haven't. So I'm going to spend a couple minutes just doing a very quick recap of what we've done over the last few weeks, and then we're going to go into technical SEO and then finish off with a bit of backlinks. So, cheers, guys. So for those who haven't joined us, you're in good company. Every week I've been updating this attendees number. We're now on 560 attendees, VCs, founders, CMOs, head of growths, SEO leads. There's like a huge range of people on the call, all trying to understand a bit more about SEO and how it can help their business grow. And for the 25% who haven't seen myself or Victor, I run growth for Alpha Green Group. Alpha Green Group is a house of brands, which means we own a bunch of e-commerce brands, Europe's largest CBD marketplace, a scented candles brand, and a couple of media sites. And out of that, we ended up building a digital marketing agency that was services our own brands, but also serves other brands too. So everything we talk about is what works for us, and that's how we can deliver on it. Myself, I've got a background in physics, and Victor, he's probably worked on, probably should be 200 SEO projects, and also a background in physics too. And he's been doing SEO for 15 years. So a very long time. And then Lexi is not on the call, but he's the CEO and co-founder. Cool. So for everyone who missed, session 1 was higher level CEO thinking. I will ping around some slides for everyone after this call. But high level CEO thinking was answering the question, what's the ROI on SEO? How do you measure the ROI on SEO? And how do you even think about creating an SEO function within your company? There are only 4 ways to scale long-term. There are only 4 long-term scale growth channels. One is paid ads, which everyone knows. One is word of mouth, which is incredibly hard to fake. It only comes from a good product. The third one is sales. And the last one is SEO. So if you can get any 2 of those working, you generally have something that's about to go big. And this conversation is really about how do we make SEO go big. Session 2 was very tactical. So we went from strategy to tactical. And we discussed how we create content. We were talking about how we go from keywords to keyword clusters to writing pages that have topical authority, which therefore rank #1 on Google. And we showed loads of case studies of sites going from 0 to 50K traffic in a matter of months when all those things align quite well. In that ultimate guide to content, we showed you how we would create a content plan, and we showed you examples of what good content looks like and what bad content looks like. Session 3 was a really interactive one where we gave you 12 SEO technical tips that would help you implement your website. I hope people did do at least 1 or 2 of them after that call. And on technical SEO, we explained why technical SEO is like the wheels to your car, and the car being all the other bits of SEO. I mean, your backlinks, your content, your site structure, but the technical SEO is like the wheels. You need to have them on so you can run or you can move, but changing your wheels from a crap pair of tires to, an F1 slicks, you go a bit faster, but you're still moving. And the biggest important thing is changing your engine, and the engine being increasing your content and adding fuel to that. And then finally, today is the secret of backlinks. We're going to be commenting on what backlinks are, an A to Z of when to use them, how to use them, and the risks around using them too. Cool. So demystifying technical SEO. we were on this last week and we didn't finish one section, which was how to read an SEO audit. And I've got a lot of personal emails saying, can we please go over this topic? So we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about a technical SEO audit and how to read it. The value for you on the call is, one, you could either do this yourself, but two, if you have an agency or a freelancer or someone telling you you need to do these fixes, you are now aware about what's going on and you're aware of where they're taking you for a fool and where they're not. So I'll let Victor take over from here very quickly. And Victor, let me just make you host so you can share something too. There you go.
So hello everybody, and today we're going to talk about SEO audit and the best and the easiest way you can run it on your side. And for an example, I will use Ahrefs as a tool for SEO audit. Why Ahrefs? Because it's quite good, and it will not ask you to install any software on your computer. It's totally cloud-based, so you can just register an account and run an audit. And after that, in a couple hours, you will have a result of that audit, which will look something like that. It's like one of other clients where you have like crawled pages, how many of them, health score, estimated mark, how good is your technical stuff now, amount of crawled pages, pages with and without errors, and all that information. And the most interesting part is like top issues, where you can find the most important issues from Ahrefs perspective. But to be able, decision what problems should be fixed immediately and what problems should not be fixed, and maybe you just don't need to waste any developer's time on that problems, should be done by SEO specialist. So this SEO specialist is a person who will decide what should be fixed and what should not be fixed. Ahrefs more like provide general information. For example,
Victor,
yeah.
like this page, like it looks like there's loads of things wrong with this site.
Yes.
It looks really bad. Is that correct? Is this as bad as it looks, or is this not true?
It's not true, because there are some problems which you definitely need to fix. For example, missing meta titles or empty meta titles on your like target pages, what you need to rank. But if you have missing title on a contact page or missing description on a contact page, that will not affect your SEO at all, because nobody, or like cart page, because nobody will be like Google something to find your contact page or cart page or like login page, wherever. So some of them should be fixed, some of them should not be fixed, and probably fixing about between 10 and 20% of the problems will give you like 80-90% of the result usually. And the decision what that sweet like 10-20% is the decision SEO specialist should be making.
Yeah. So I think the key point is, say like you get, as someone watching this, if you get given an audit, do not be scared off by loads of red things, loads of orange things. Like the question you should always be asking is, okay, I see this. What would you fix first? If you get a succinct and concise answer to that question, you know you're talking to an SEO specialist. If you get a question sort of like, oh, we have all these things to get through, that's kind of like red warning signals in case you have like a very bad website. But you generally are looking for someone that's going to like prioritize and that can think in the way that, again, look at that list. I mean, you can click on all issues, right, Victor? This list gets longer and it will just continue to get longer and longer. You just have to know what the levers are you want to move. So yeah, maybe we can go to the specific scenario for the levers of this website.
So for example, with this website, there was 27 pages without title and pages, and we can see that like post in a blog. So post in a blog, we needed to bring us search traffic. And when we have missing title on that kind of page, that means this page will not be able to index by Google correctly and will not be shown in a Google. search engine results. So that's problem which we definitely need to fix. And there is an example of problem which is very important to fix. Another good example, like crazy good example, is another our client with built from scratch website where we found that all pages, like every single page, had a canonical tag pointing to a home page. So every single page was telling basically Google that Google should not index that page, every single page, because homepage is the only main like version of that page, and it was blocking whole website from indexing. I've saw that problem like 2 times, but it's that serious because without fixing that, your website will not be able to like rank at all. And as you can see, with that serious problem, you can get 82 mark like score, health score, and with much like less important problems, you can get like lower mark. So it really depends on SEO specialists really need to understand what problems are more important, what problems are less important, and decide what to fix first.
Yeah, I mean, Rick's got, this is like a really obvious one now. Rick goes, what about too long titles or meta descriptions? On like a scale of important to unimportant, Victor, how would you place that one?
If you have like too long titles, it's like very small problem. Just compared to problems I've described before, it's like 1%.
Yeah. So again, it's the key. I think the key word that Victor probably didn't put enough emphasis on is compared. Like you got to compare it to all the other levers you want to move. It's very unlikely that the biggest issue you have is long titles. For like 90% of websites, there are much bigger issues at play. Cool. So this was us discussing how to read an audit live. Maybe Victor, if you give me a screen share back.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. So yeah, that was us describing how to do a screenshot, how to do an SEO audit or how to read one. You can screenshot this now, and I'll also send the slides out. There are loads of audit SEO tools you can use. Victor was using Ahrefs, which is the third one over here. Screaming Frog is good. SEMrush is good. WebDev is from Google. We have one as well over here. It runs an automated tech audit in 15 seconds. So you can feel free to run that too and get some more insights. Cool. To continue for sort of this session, the secrets of backlinks revealed and how to use them. How to use them. We've got 3 main sections. When are backlinks important? What makes a good backlink? And the risks of using backlinks. So to kick it off, I have a poll. And the poll is over here. How well does everyone here understand backlinks? So I'm going to kickstart that one now. Cool. So you guys should see it on your screen. It's 67% have completed it. Just under 80%. I'll give it maybe 10 more seconds. So how well do you understand backlinks? You either don't know what it is, you know what they are, but that's about it. You have a good understanding or you're a backlink pro. Yeah, cool. So only 3% on the school are a backlink pro, which makes sense. 10% don't know what a backlink is. 37% know what they are, but that's it. And then 49% have a good understanding of backlinks and their role in SEO. So yeah. So I'm going to kick it off then very quickly and show you the effects of a backlink and what it can do. So a backlink can be really important. Actually, no, I'll show you an example of what a backlink is first. So a backlink, in my eyes, is what people say about you when you're not in the room. A backlink is a third-party domain in the article referencing you as some sort of authority. So I'm going to go and show this article from TechCrunch. Can everyone see the TechCrunch article? I hope they can. Yeah, cool. So if I look at this TechCrunch article, Twilio hackers, I just opened up this morning. Oops. They breached over 130 organizations. And I scroll down and there's all these links over here. If I scroll down further, there's one link that goes outbound. It says Cloudflare first revealed the use of Telegram by hackers. And I click on this link and I'm sent to Cloudflare and their blog page. This is an example of a backlink from TechCrunch into Cloudflare. And because it's coming from TechCrunch, is really valuable. And so if Google wants to understand how much of an authority you are in the online space, they can measure it by saying how many people are talking about you. So you can put it this way. If you have a person that you've never met before, but everyone keeps saying, oh, they're really cool, you should meet them, they're probably going to become quite important in your eyes, or you're going to consider them as an authority or someone you should meet. It's the same idea with Google and how Google's backlink algo was first thought about. The more people who are relevant and contextually important that say you're important, make you more important. So again, it's backlinks are what people say about you when you're not in the room. Now, that's for those of you who don't know who a backlink is. For people that say they know what they are, but that's it, backlinks are really powerful. Backlinks can help you win a niche or win certain keyword search queries very quickly, only if certain things are aligned. So for example, we've had 2 specific case studies where we were working on a backlink only package, where we were helping NatureCan, for example, go from position 10 to position 1 for the keyword CBD, 10% CBD oil, all going from position 10 to position 3 for CBD gummies. These were very, very competitive terms. They had very high buying intent, and all the content pieces in, say, the top 10 search were basically looking the same to some degree. There was no sort of real reason why one should, from an SEO perspective, be ranked higher than another one, except from these, let's say, getting into like these higher SEO ranking factors, which one of them was backlinks. And so we were able to help them by pushing back high authority backlinks to NatureCan. Another example is you can get some quick wins where we worked with a client for 1 month and then their search traffic went 3 times up purely from pushing backlinks with a very specific keyword, which was employee management platform, people management platform, and various variations around that. And that's the effect of what backlinks can do for you. But it's really important that you use them the right way so that you don't get penalized by Google, and that they're only being applied in the right timing or strategy. So this are the effects of backlinks for those who know what they are, but that's about it. Generally, for people that don't know what they are, but that's about it, you'll probably feel that backlinks are like this magic thing that can help you win. It's far from it. It's a ranking factor, but it's not the main ranking factor. The biggest thing you can be doing is writing good content, and you should start winning from that point onwards regardless. Cool. So I'm going to do one more poll with you guys. And it's around really those people who have a good understanding of backlinks, if they could answer this question. But have you ever bought a backlink? And yeah, feel free to answer yes, no, or what. You can buy backlinks. And say it's, your company's bought a backlink and you know the person who's buying it and you understand that methodology, you can put yourself as a yes there as well. Cool. Now this is really interesting results. So we're seeing 20% said what? You can buy backlinks, ? It's the same way that you can buy PR. It's the same realization. 56% said no, they've never bought a backlink, and 25% have said yes, they've bought a backlink. So Victor, that's for you for more contextual information.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to give the hand over to Victor. And then Victor's going to walk through what makes a good backlink and when a backlink is important. You should have host now.
Mm-hmm. 1 second. So yeah, before we start with backlinks, we need to understand how Google works, because backlinks are like, we interested in backlinks to improve ranking in Google, and to be able to do that, to achieve our goals and results, we need to understand how Google works. And if you will like Google that question, how Google works, probably you will find a lot of pretty complicated information about index servers, different crawlers, bots, Google bots, whatever. And you don't really need to understand all that information. You need to understand like basic principle that to be able to target some keyword cluster, you really need to have a relevant page on your website. Because if you will not have relevant page on your website, you will not be able to target keyword cluster. So no relevant page on your website, no traffic for that topic. That's like the most interesting part. And 95% of the websites really need more relevant pages to rank for. And that's like very important way to increase your rankings.
Yeah, so this goes back to the main point. If you don't have relevant pages and you're like saying, okay, backlinks are part of my strategy, you're already thinking like step 9 when you should be thinking step 1. How do I create a content publishing engine in my company, or how do I look to someone to write content for me?
Yeah, like going back to recommendations, you're trying to recommend product which just not exist or not fit people needs, and like that will never work. So how to get traffic from Google? You need to have a relevant page on your website, and the relevant page means it can fit search intent. So if people want to buy something, page should contain an offer to buy something. If people looking for information, page should contain information, whatever. Page need to have a properly structured title, description, meta text, and the content on that page to make it relevant for people and for Google. Then like backlinks is a third-party recommendations, and backlinks can help Google to pick from relevant pages. So backlink cannot make irrelevant page relevant. Backlink can only help Google pick between already relevant pages. And backlinks can push a relevant page into a top 10 results and even on the first page. For example, if you have like these 4 example relevant pages, if they are good equally, so every single page is already good, and this one has 10 backlinks, this one has 5, 3, and 2, the page with the biggest amount of backlinks, biggest amount of third-party recommendations will show first if backlinks are like the same quality. And the less backlinks, the lower your position.
That's interesting. Now, say for example, your number 5 relevant page, and people on this call, they have like their number 5 for some certain keyword. There's 2 ways you can go about it. One, you could go, oh, I need to get 7 more backlinks to beat number 1. Or you can say, have the mindset, how do I make a better quality page that's more relevant than number 1? Which is very possible. You could bring in new data sources. You could go deeper into analysis. You could get quotes from people that are more relevant for that keyword. There are like improving content is infinite. You can do it in so many different ways. Getting more backlinks is kind of one-dimensional to some degree.
Mm-hmm. So when it is the right time for backlinks, your website should be ready for use. It should work properly already. So everything that works, you create all the pages, you have proper structure, and you have content on your website. And your website is already indexed by Google search engine. And you already have a relevant pages to rank, because if you don't have relevant pages, you will not be able to rank at all. So no sense to make a backlinks. So where to put backlinks? Because you have a lot of pages on your website, obviously, and you need to put the backlinks to like some specific page, not just in general on your website. And there is a common mistake when people trying to push all the backlinks to your, for example, like money page, landing pages, or like categories and products. But the more the more organic way backlinks usually happen to be is part of the backlinks go into a home page, part of the backlinks go into internal pages. And that proportion between how many backlinks you need to have on a home page and how many backlinks you need to have on your internal pages, you can just steal from your competitors. If your competitors have like 25% of backlinks on your homepage, and like almost all your competitors have like between 20 and 25% of backlinks on a homepage, probably it's safe to make something like the same situation, like the same amount of backlinks on a homepage.
So I think you raise like a contradictory idea though, just to be devil's advocate. If we go back a couple of slides to the ranking, and look, I could say I want to compete for the CBD gummies keyword or whatever it is, and I just need to get more backlinks. I would want to push it all to my money page, for example, right? Or my page that is going to get me revenue, but you're telling me to push it to my homepage. Like, why would I want to do that if one's going to make me more money?
Yeah, because it will be obviously SEO backlinks and obviously not organically gained backlinks. If you will push all the backlinks on your like money page and none of them will be pointing for your homepage. And usually when you have really popular brand, good website, organic backlinks, which like people can leave sometimes by like just leave on their website or in a comment section, they usually point into a homepage. And when you have like literally 0 backlinks to a homepage and all of them go into your money page, that's kind of obvious that that all the backlinks was created for SEO purposes, not gained organically. And our goal is to create backlink profile, which will be looks more like organically.
Mm-hmm. So a backlinks black hat is what it kind of saying.
No, but you need to like it will be a black hat if you will do it like not proper way. But if you're like really establish a relationship with third-party websites and having a recommendation, that's good.
Okay. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. So, and another important thing is how to know how many backlinks you need. To understand that, you need to pick like 2 or 3 target keywords which you want to rank for, and just Google that keywords and create a list of pages which are already in a top 10 Google search results. Then you need to check how many backlinks all that pages already have by Ahrefs or SEMrush, and subtract all spammy and random backlinks. And then you will realize how many backlinks you need to rank. I will give you an example. For example, if I will Google CBD gummies, I'll get to this page. And if I will check this page in Ahrefs, I can see how many backlinks are pointed to that specific page. For example, this specific page has almost 5,000 referent domains. It's like amount of domains which has a backlink to this page, and 88,000 backlinks. But when it sounds like a lot, but if we will check like how fast that backlinks was gained, we will realize that it was like slowly increase before July 2022. And then we can see like rapid increase in amount of backlinks. And like with that amount of backlinks, 1,500, they already had pretty good results. And all that extra backlinks, we can, if we will deep dive into that question, we'll realize that it's competitors pushing a lot of spammy backlinks with irrelevant keywords like sex, lingerie, whatever, on that CBD gummies page to decrease rankings, to make it not relevant by creating a wrong anchor profile. So by checking all that information, we will be able to understand that we actually need about 1,500 backlinks on that page to have equal amount of backlinks with a page which is already on the first page in Google for CPT guidance keyword.
Sweet. So 1,500 backlinks are needed. How are we going to get? How are we going to get that 1,500 backlinks? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot. And we realize that when you are working on your website and when you create a really good content, when you have really relevant pages which are not just relevant for Google but also very good for visitors, you can gain backlinks organically. So you don't need to pay for all that backlinks. You need to acquire some amount of backlinks by doing like SEO activities, and all other backlinks will happen to be like organically, because people will put a link in some discussions, you will gain basically some backlinks organically. So you don't need to buy like base amount of backlinks.
Cool. Let's handle some. I think we're at a nice point where we've sort of explained. Maybe go to the next slide, Victor. Sorry. We're at a nice point where we've explained like Google uses backlinks as recommendations. They only work if you have rankable pages, and you need about the same number of backlinks as your competitors. So there's a bunch more we want to speak about, but we can probably handle some QA now, just because we're like in the middle. So Jane asks, how do you get rid of bad backlinks being pushed by competitors?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's pretty easy to do, and the Google have like separate tool to get rid of backlinks pushed by competitors. It's called disallow tools, and you can just submit all backlinks you will find with hrefs which you don't like, and like submit with an information that this is not mine, that was created by competitors. Please don't take all that backlinks into account, and Google will just don't take all that backlinks into account.
Perfect.
And where do you buy backlinks from? We have established relationships with good websites where we have bought backlinks before, and we definitely know which backlink will work and which backlink is useless. So we kind of have a network of a website which already tested in our work, and we buy backlinks from them mostly.
Yeah, we can definitely go into more. I think that buying them is going to be quite interesting for people, so we can explain that. Nikolai asked, how about embedding videos, pictures, illustrations? So I'm going to assume, Nikolai, you're embedding a video to someone else's website. So how does that work? If I'm linking to other people from my site, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
So about like embedding video, pictures, and illustrations, you need to think from perspective how good is and how relevant at the end of the day your page. So if some video or some pictures or some infographic will improve your page, it will be just better. After that, that's a good way to improve your page. About links from your page to other websites, sometimes you need to have them. For example, if you're writing an article when you're doing some medical claims, you need to have some kind of proof and links for or mention for some real research, real studies, because you cannot just say something is good for your health or something like that. So everything you're writing, you need to be proved.
Yeah. So maybe Victor, can you screen share the link I just sent you on Telegram? We can look at glycanage very quickly.
Let me show. Let me give you your host.
Sweet. Cool. Sweet. So for example, I'm not going to be stingy about backlinks to some degree, if that makes sense. So this is an article we wrote about aging. We have a key points section. So this is a lot of this is about, you know, how we structure blog pieces from session 2. But what's interesting is we are actively giving backlinks to other sites. We want to show that we've referenced PubMed, NCBI, etc. And this is a good sign to Google, because we're showing that we've done research and that we are linking to authoritative sites. So you should be linking outwards when it's correct. And these are examples of how you do it. I literally have a reference over here. And in the article, I also do hyperlink the part in wherever it is noted. I will have a hyperlink to their site too as a no follow. So this is completely normal, and to some degree you should do it to show that you are an authoritative user. What other Q&As do we have? I think at this point we should continue with the presentation, Victor, because a lot of the questions that you know, Emmett, Toby, Olga, Chatura, Sam, Tony have asked are all going to be covered in a couple minutes. We can come back to questions if you don't think we've answered them correctly.
So the most important, like maybe the most interesting stuff is how to build backlinks, where you can get it. And there are several types of backlinks. First one is PR backlinks, which you can have that when you do PR activities. And for example, you publish in some PR article on a news website or somewhere else. And also in that article, you have a backlink to your website. So in this case, that article will have like both like PR value and SEO value. So that's like perfect case scenario. Another great way is organic backlinks. If you will create really good piece of content, really important page, which will be super helpful for people will organically give you a backlinks. And if you will do some study, people will mention you and give you a link to make a reference for your study because you've done that. That's also like perfect case scenario. Also, you can buy a backlinks from third-party websites. If you will establish relationships with third-party websites which are in the same niche, they have great topical authority, they can publish your piece of content. If you will write really good piece of content, you will be able to publish that content on third-party website with a backlink to your website, and that website will get really good content and some money for publishing, and you will get a backlink. And that's like another pretty good way. And the least valuable links is like forums, comments, and all that stuff, which you can get basically for free if you will comment some and just put a link to your website in the comment section somewhere. But that backlinks are easy to get, but not very valuable. And talking about some backlink parameters, you have like topical authority. It's you probably, for example, if your website which you're trying to promote in some niche, you need to have backlinks from very high authority websites in that niche or like similar niche. It can be like more broad, like health and wellness. If your website is like, for example, about weight loss, you can have a backlinks from like very authority websites in general, like health and wellness websites. Another important metric is website traffic, because if third-party websites has zero traffic, probably that means that Google don't see any value in that website, and recommendation from a website which has zero value from Google perspective of view will not be very valuable. About geography, probably it's better to have a backlinks from the same country. So if you are trying to boost your website ranking, for example, in a United Kingdom, you don't need a backlinks from India. They will have some effects, so they will work and increase your website ranking a little bit, but very little. And domain rating is just a parameter from Ahrefs. You can check. It's like easy to check because it's much more hard to understand how high is topical authority, but very easy to understand what is the main rating, and you can just check in Ahrefs, and if you have like 40 plus, it's probably worth to consider at least.
Yeah, maybe Victor, can we go back a couple of slides just to the first ranking and then go slideshow?
Like this one?
Yeah, and then to the next slide. Yeah, so the questions that we had around this slide were, what are organic backlinks? I understood that all of them may only be bought. A really good question. You can buy backlinks, but you can get them organically in the sense that they're given to you for free by people naturally referencing you as a good piece of content. If you create very good content, you will share that content. People will share that content with their friends, with their family, and webmasters, or like, as us as blog writers, I might want to reference someone who wrote a very good piece to back up my point. The same way I referenced those PubMed articles on the glycan age article, I also might reference a longevity thought leader and give him a backlink in return. So organic backlinks are natural ideas and representations of word of mouth in a sense. You're naturally giving backlinks to people all the time by, copying an article, putting it on WhatsApp, sending it to a colleague or a friend. It's the exact same idea. Are your purchase backlinks from website in the same industry? Yeah, that was a really good point. And we sort of started touching on it on the next slide, which was that the most important thing about if you're getting a backlink is to make sure it's topically authority. It's a topical authority, which means it's relevant to you and your niche, and it's actually good inside your niche. We've seen, websites that have like a domain rating of 30, but I would gladly pay money for that backlink because they really understand the niche very well. They're clear experts. I would rather get that. And I know in the long run that I'm going to benefit from that. So it's really about making good decisions about long-term thinking. Let me see what other ones. Where do you buy backlinks from? Basically, you can go to backlink providers. I mean, there's like a bunch of like SaaS tools that help you do it. The issue is you have to trust that the person giving you this link is going to do it in the right way. And we're going to show you some examples of how you can be burnt. Especially if you're going to like Fiverr or Upwork, you're not going to get the right stuff. You need a specialist that can basically vet the quality of the backlink and can analyze it and make sure. Because we've been in this game so long, we have like vetted hundreds to thousands of websites already. So we have our own sort of database of stuff we trust. But whenever we go out to new niches, we do a lot of research to understand who do we trust in certain categories. In terms of getting PR links, like PR links are hard to get. I love getting PR links. They're generally, let's say, not relevant to your niche because they're sort of agnostic, but at the same time, they have really high domain rating and they have lots of traffic and they're clear authorities talking about things. So there is a sort of a seesaw or a trade-off that you need to achieve. So whenever someone at a website has a fundraising announcement, you'll notice that generally they'll have a spike in branded traffic and sometimes a small boost in normal SEO because those PR backlinks are now being pushed to the domain, which is really helpful. Cool. I think I've answered most of the questions and then we can continue, I think, as well.
And the last but not least is the risks of backlinks, because generally people, when they buy a backlinks, they think in the best case scenario I will see some boost, in a worst case scenario I will lose some money for the bad backlinks. But the worst case scenario is you can get your website penalized and even banned because of bad backlinks. And so that's like the most important thing to do, that when you're choosing between right and not right to do backlinks, you're choosing not between zero effect and good effect. You're choosing, like, your risk is between between good effect and like really negative effect. And you may find yourself in a situation where you need to spend much more time and money to fix what was done with bad backlinks compared to your was trying to gain.
Yeah, sweet. Did we speak about anchors?
I
think we might have missed it.
Oh yeah. We listen anchors. So yeah, about anchors. So the anchor is basically a name of the link, like a text on the link which you can see, and you will click on that text and you will like go to that specific page. And anchors may be from specific keywords, for example, like CBD gummies or like SEO services. It can be brand name like New Optima, and it can be URL, just URL of your page, and they can be like generic, like here, there, link, or proof, or something like that. And it's all about proportion, because you need to have a good proportion between specific keywords, between brand name, URL backlinks, and generic backlinks. And a proportion, the best proportion you can find if you will check your competitors' websites, and we'll find out that they have like 20% brand name, 5% URL, 10% like generic, and all other is specific keywords. And generally, it's more safe to use more brand name and more URL and more generic than specific keywords. And it's not safe to have like almost all backlinks with a specific keywords, because it will create you unnatural profile, anchor profile, and it will be like strange from a Google perspective of view, and you will looks like all that backlinks was created for manipulation only, and you don't have like organic backlinks, and probably you should rank lower than other websites who have general backlinks, who have organic backlinks, and some like SEO backlinks as well.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions on anchors while we're here? So I'm going to quickly look to the chat. I think we had a question about anchors a bit earlier on. Anchor text. Is it good practice to have a mixture of brand and non-brand anchor text? Some may say Ahrefs, some may say SEO tool. So how do we want people referencing us on the internet, Victor?
Usually it's safe to go with a brand name. If we are like, it depends on the article, because if you have, for example, a backlink from article about your fundraising, probably it will be a brand name. But if you have a backlink from an article which talks about your product, maybe it should be a name of your product, or like a name of category or something like that. So in different situations, you need to create different backlinks.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Sweet, perfect. Yeah, how do you fix bad backlinks? Matt, the main one is you disavow.
Yeah, that's like the only way you can go.
Tim raises an interesting point. So the example that I showed had these the references and glycanage. They weren't hyperlinked. They were just sort of like citation number with the reference as a URL. What is the right way to do it? What is the wrong? Is there a right way? Is there a wrong way to backlink to other people?
So we try not to like overload our articles with the backlinks, and the glycanage is really scientific website and really scientific article. And if we will make an active backlink for every single proof, it will be like 40 backlinks per page, and that's just too many. So we, in that case, prefer to do just the text. So just to show that we have references, we don't like write in from our own experience, we are backed with real studies. And if we will do every reference as a backlink, it will be just too much in that specific case.
Cool, awesome. I think that's most of the questions we have. Does anyone have any additional questions? We're about to go into a bit of housekeeping bits, but if you have additional questions, please ping them in and we're going to pick them up. So maybe Victor, you can give me screen share for a couple of minutes. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, you're a host now.
Cheers. Cool. Oh, I saw a couple of questions come in, so I'll pick those up. What is a good price range to pay for a backlink? Oh, damn. What a hard question. That actually is a really hard one. Victor, how much do you pay for backlinks? How much do we pay?
Like usually you need to spend, you need to write a really good piece of content to publish that backlink. So you need to pay writers, and if you don't have like established team of good writers, it will be difficult to do. But if you already have established team of writers, probably it will cost you like $100 for a piece of content, or like a little bit more. Also, you need to pay for a backlink, sometimes $100 to $300. And then you need to have a person who will be like in touch and negotiate and find good deals and like negotiate the prices and pay that person. So probably every backlink will internally will cost you, if you already have that process established, at least few $100.
Yeah.
It can be more. It can be like sometimes like $700, $800. So good backlinks are expensive, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like you gave a range, but I think it was like you can actually get backlinks that cost you £800, £900, £1,000, and they're like really, really high quality. On the black market, we've never done this, but on the black market, there's ways, I think, buy Wikipedia backlinks. I think there's it never lasts, but people will pay in excess of thousands of pounds, right? To get that sort of backlink.
All that like black hat stuff is more for like casino guys and not for sustainable business. So I don't have like enough experience in that field, because I want to like establish something sustainable.
I've also put a feedback form in the link, guys. I'm gonna send it back again. If you guys could fill it out, it'd be really appreciated. It's basically, we do this every week, and it helps us understand what's going wrong, what's going right. In terms of moving forward, there's a couple more questions to answer, which I will do. But this is the last of our sessions, unfortunately. So the ways you can stay in contact with us is you can keep in the loop on Slack. So we've created a Slack channel just for the SEO Accelerator. I'm going to send it in the chat now. So if you join that, you'll have access to myself, Victor, and our new Optima team. We're probably going to be hosting like webinar series or office hours, but it's not going to be the same as a 4-week session. It's going to be quite ad hoc. And it will be either be very SEO focused or fundraising focused or growth channel focused. Like I was asking some questions about Twitter ads, and we might share some of our findings around that too. Cool. In terms of recordings, we have decided actually to launch the recordings publicly, but we're going to have them in a learning hub. The learning hub is under development, so maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be able to show you recordings, but I will send you slides beforehand. And then finally, if you feel free to work with us as an SEO agency, we have 2 client spots open in September. But otherwise, we are still here to help you generally with your SEO challenges. I'm going to ask Victor now if you could be on the Slack channel for maybe 20 minutes after the call. We'll be there
sure.
answering any final Q&As someone didn't want to ask on the chat. Toby, the form links to session 3, I might have messed up. Let's just fill that one out anyway. I can just filter out recent submissions, but thank you, Toby, for mentioning that. Cool, so maybe a couple of questions to finish it off. Najib asked, what are the types of backlinks? I think he's given a few examples, but I mean, you could even go higher level, right? To what types of backlinks there are in terms of technical level.
Like profile backlinks, we need to understand that if some backlinks are super easy to create, that means a lot of people will do that. And from Google perspective of view, recommendations which super easy to get has 0 value. So to get like 1 million profile backlinks, you need to you can just use software, and in a few weeks it will register automatically a few I don't know 100,000 accounts and put 100,000 backlinks, and there will be like zero value from all the pages. 99% of them will not be even indexed. So profile backlinks, not so interesting. Web 2.0, you mean comment section, maybe. Sometimes it's good if you have active discussion and you can put a backlink and people will actually read it and click it. But in a real life, in a market, what people call like crowd marketing or web 2.0 backlinks is usually like dead threads in a dead forums with a backlink, which is also has zero value. So probably about 98% of backlinks are useless, and only like that 2% of really good high quality backlinks are really making all difference. And that's why we like paying so much for every backlink, because we know that backlinks are actually works. And if you will spend like a lot of time creating useless backlinks, it will just not justify spending time if backlinks will not work.
Awesome. I mean, there's like a little mini debate about no follow, follow, and all that stuff that ensued after that Google update, which was about last year. So what's the consensus on no follow and follow, Victor?
Yeah, like in general, website which has a lot of, for example, like Wikipedia has both no follow and do follow backlinks. So probably any website should have like all no follow and do follow backlinks. And if your website has only do follow backlinks, probably that looks unnatural. So you need to have both.
Sweet, awesome. Cool. Let's check the last questions I got on here. Noda, your 0 to 1 guide, I think, was kind of explained at the beginning, but it was if you want to start building backlinks, create good content, you'll naturally start getting good backlinks. We get more backlinks from organic than we do from buying them. In fact, we would rather just not buy them at all and get them all from organic. It's not the biggest lever in most scenarios. The biggest lever is always content. And so that's really important. Okay, looking at the final questions. Would you mind showing a Slack link? Says it's not looking active. Maybe it hit 100 invites and it actually refreshed itself. So give me a second. Edit link, Slack never expires. So let me try and make a new one. Could we try this link over here? Sorry, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. It might not do. Edit link settings, deactivate link. Okay, or sorry, maybe try another one. I'll give you another one now. We'll be accelerating in no time. Yes, really. Okay, try this link over now. That's a new one. In case you couldn't join. There we go. I hear my Slack bot pinging now. Okay, cool. So yeah, feel free to join the Slack channel. We're going to be, if you intro yourself into the intro to yourself chat, we'll get to meet you guys. And then we will continue the Q&A for sites. So what you can do is you can start sending your site URLs into SEO discussion with specific questions if you have any, and we will spend say 20-30 minutes trying to answer them. But otherwise, super happy that everyone joined and got value from the Accelerator. I hope to do it again sometime. And again, you can work with us in 3 ways: Slack channel, either as an SEO agency or signing up to a learning hub. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for your attention for the last 4 weeks. And I hope to see you in Slack.